Well, Body Beagsy Blitz episode 103. We took a little bit of a break again. Brock and I are super busy. The Pelicans wrapped up their season. Another underwhelming season for your favorite basketball team in the 504. The Masters wrapped up. Rory McIlroy came out victorious. There's been some news around one of the best prospects in the 2026 NFL draft, Ruben Bain. Brock will go into that. And then LSU baseball just got swept by the oldest Rebels. And there was a fight in the stands, if you saw that.
Yeah,
But Brock, how are you feeling?
feeling good. Feeling great. Took a bit of a break, like Connor said. This semester has just been crazy.
Oh, so good.
I'm busy every single day. It feels like, but we're always happy to be back doing a pod. Be on the lookout for some TikToks. We're trying to get those out. I will be making a TikTok on the Ruben Bain situation. It's gonna be similar to what I said on here, obviously, because there's not that much to say about it. But I'm excited to be back. This pod is obviously brought to you by Mercado.
3750 Williams Boulevard, 70065. When we go in for the summer, I mean, that's only a couple weeks
Four more
away.
weeks, yeah.
If that might not even be four. I think my last exam is on the 4th of May. May the 4th be with you.
Nice.
So when we get back for summer, we're gonna be there. We're gonna be regulars.
Process.
Get you some food's really good.
It is. It's great. But let's kick it off. Pelicans, obviously, their season wrapped up. They ended on a hefty losing. I think they won one of their last
Yeah,
13 or
they won
something.
one in there.
But they were resting all of their players. They were getting the young guys. In fact, the people who played yesterday, I mean, I'm not even joking. Three of the guys I've never heard of.
Oh my gosh, yeah, and that
Um,
is very rare
yeah.
for us.
Um,
But Jeremiah Fears is the main takeaway, and Derek Queen. Um,
both had 30. So
both had 30. Derek Queen had over 20 rebounds in the
yeah.
game. And I mean, they just simply took advantage of opportunity.
Mhm.
Jeremiah Fears in his last five or so games averaged like 35 points or something ridiculous. The potential is there. Um, and I am super excited to see what these two can do. And then obviously you still have guys like Trey Murphy. Zion Williamson came out and said New Orleans is his home. Take that for whatever it's worth. I don't know. I genuinely don't know how to,
Yeah.
take that news. But yeah, I mean, I guess even though the Pelicans lost, it's a good way to end the season.
Yeah.
Seeing your two rookies show their potential. I mean, Derek Queen, like you're not going to have a first round pick because of this guy. You put that much into him. You could be getting a guy like Keaton Wagler, who looks unbelievable right now as a prospect. But Derek Queen looks really good and is giving Pelicans fans hope, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah. Take these last stretch of games with a grain of salt. The starting five for the Pelicans last night was a guy by the name of Josh Oduro, shut up, who played 31 minutes. Derek Queen, Micah Peavy, Jordan Hawkins, and Jeremiah Fears. So I love what the Pelicans are doing with that. First off, I think it was great to, obviously the Pelicans have had injury history in the past, so you rest those guys, the Sadiq Bays of the world, the Trey Murphys who battled injuries this year, Herb Jones battled injuries, obviously, uh, Murray. Why can't I think of his first name?
DeJounte.
DeJounte Murray. Thank you. Battled injuries with the Achilles. I love the way they progressed him. They played him when they thought they were having a chance with the play in. Obviously, when that
He
game was
comes
going to
back, and I mean, the Pelicans hit the ground rolling when he
exactly.
comes back.
And then once they got eliminated, they kind of they were cautious with it. I like that. I like how they didn't try and force it. Try and win a bunch of games and go like 40-42, which wasn't going to happen. But you get what I'm saying. But the main takeaway was Jeremiah Fears. He's not going to be obviously the first, like the guy who handles the ball next year, the number one scorer. But he's shown he can do with injuries like for next year. Like I'm very optimistic about him for going into next year if the Pelicans face another injury bug like they do pretty much every year.
They inevitably will.
Seeing him as the number one option on offense clearly paid off. I mean, like you said, he averaged like 35 over the last couple of games of the season. He had a 40 piece on that, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And then he had 36 last night.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think he had
36.
36, 10, and 5.
Yeah, she did.
Filling up the stats.
Fantastic stats. I mean, yeah, I love shout out to this guy. Trey Alexander had 16 last night for the
Good for him.
Pelicans.
Good for him.
Maybe
He's a squadron. He's a guy that's always on the squad.
Kenner. They will be coming. They will be watching Hunter
Cannot
Dickinson
wait.
and Trey Alexander next year.
And company.
But yeah, the Pelicans. Look, at this moment in time, I'm optimistic for next year. Are they going to go in the finals? Probably not. Are they going to be? Do I think they can be in contention for a 4, 5, 6, 7 round seed in the playoff? Yes, I think that should be the bare minimum. If you had this team healthy, you saw what they could do when they're all
100%.
healthy. With DeJounte, with Trey Murphy, Herb Jones on defense. I mean, the potential's there. They just need to go out and execute. I think some roster changes I would like to see. Jordan Poole and Kevon Looney, if you can get them off your team, please do. Whoever will take them, no shade on them. They just really don't bring much to the team, especially a guy like Kevon Looney, who DeAndre Jordan actually passed up, who for the first 60 games of the season, DeAndre Jordan was literally just a coach who happened to dress out.
I mean, the guy had ice packs around his knees, and next thing you know, he's getting rotational minutes.
Yeah. So go out and get another proven shooter. Please, I cannot stress that enough. This team needs shooting. Go get a shooter, and maybe a guy who just brings in 10, 12 rebounds a game, something like that. So that's what I'd like to see for the Pelicans going into next year.
Yeah. I mean, let me just lay out the depth this team is going to have, fully healthy, barring any tragedies in the offseason. Like Brock said, you're probably gonna make a move or two here and there, get a shooter. Obviously, you're gonna have your second round picks if you don't trade back into the first round, which I mean, it doesn't really look like we're gonna do. But then again, see what the Pelicans did last year. Anything's possible.
Unless a team would give up a first round pick for Zion, which is gonna be
This is true. This is true. But yeah, so depth, you're gonna have Trey Murphy, you're gonna have Zion Williamson, DeJounte Murray, Jeremiah Fears. I mean, you're gonna have a very, very deep rotation. Sadiq Bey, who else? I'm blanking right now. Carlo will still be there.
You said Herb.
Yeah, Herb Jones.
The rookies, Fears and Queen.
Yeah, Fears and Queen. You might have a double-digit rotation next year.
Yeah.
If fully healthy. Now the Pelicans are never fully healthy.
Bryce McGowan, who actually came on the scene,
and Micah Peavy, who again had a very solid rookie season as a second rounder. Which I mean, knowing that the Pelicans are going to get hurt at some point, having this depth, giving these guys this experience, this NBA experience, this late into the season, I definitely think it's going to be beneficial. The Pelicans just need to put it all together, and that is so much easier said than done with this team because they're cursed.
Yeah. Dyson Daniels said it best. But
Dyson Daniels is having the worst 3-point shooting season in NBA history. So he could take that.
He's not known as a 3-point guy, so we'll give him some slack there.
Yeah, you're right. But it's very bad.
Yeah, it's pretty atrocious. But yeah, anything else on the Pelicans before we go to the Masters real quick?
No, I mean it's just gonna be interesting to see what the front office and co decides to do with the head coaching situation and the roster.
I didn't even think,
I don't want Darvin Ham. I'll just say that.
Look, at this point, why not run it back with Borrego? You saw what this team did with him when they're all healthy. They rallied around him. I'd be okay with it.
I'd be okay, especially since there's not too many hot names on the market. I mean, you're not going to go out and get Doc Rivers.
Yeah,
that'd be a dumpster fire.
The Bucks are just a talk about dumpster fire. I mean, them and Giannis had beef now. Apparently, it's just a whole nother situation going. Everybody say something. All right, let's move on to the Masters, one of the most prestige golf tournament in the country, in the world actually. Rory McIlroy is the repeat champion, only the 4th time ever that a person has won the Masters twice. Obviously Tiger Woods did it, Jack Nicklaus did it, and the other guy's name will lose me.
Back to back.
That's the here going there. Yeah, back to back. Rory, who for 11 years, 12 years, really his whole career actually. It was always, can he win the Masters? He had the three other majors with the Open, the U.S. Open, and the PGA Championship. And it took him 11 years to finally get the Masters. And now it lifted the weight off his shoulders, and he got 2 in a row, which is one of the most impressive golf feats ever. Obviously, there was only 4 people that have ever done it. So shout out Rory McIlroy, who wins the second one. Some other guys, Scotty Scheffler almost made it interesting. I don't know if you were watching.
He did make it interesting. I think it was a stroke back.
Yeah, he was a stroke back. If he missed one putt by literally 1 inch. If that putt goes in, we have a playoff hole between Rory McIlroy and Scotty Scheffler.
And cinema.
What I would have done to watch that, it was just unbelievable. And then Rory tried to get that playoff hole done anyway. He is on the 18th hole where he was, I think he was 2 strokes ahead. So all he had to do was bogey at worst. And his tee shot is terrible. He slices it into the pines where the patrons were, as the Masters calls it, and actually has to move all the people away so he can get his next shot. Hits a beautiful shot over the tree into a bunker, And from there, it was really just if he got it on the green, he was going to end up winning. And sure enough, it's a beautiful shot at the bunker, and he two putts to win the Masters. And it was really cool to see when so the putt that would have been for par, he missed it obviously, and he put it like a foot away, and then he kind of just stepped back and took in the moment. He like obviously started crying because I mean, obviously it's the Masters. Looks over at his family, starts crying again, and it's just when he walks up to the ball, it kind of got goosebumps. I mean, it was really cool to see. I'm personally not that big of a Rory fan, but it was cool to see. Just he knew he had done it. One of the biggest golf feats ever, like I said. So shout out Rory. Some other guys, our guy Sam
I
Burns,
was about to say you got to mention the
LSU alum. He tried. He was tied for first after the first day.
Just fight.
Finished 9 under. And he was playing good golf. That last day, he actually made an eagle. I don't know if you saw a 62-foot putt for eagle.
He made it. Wow.
Yeah. To put him right back up there into contention. To compete for the winner, but it was a little too little, too late. He shot 1 over on the day. So that kind of killed him. But yeah, all around, it was a good Masters. I do have some thoughts. I feel like nobody really played elite. Everybody was kind of good, not great, with the exception of Scotty.
Rory was elite in the front.
Yeah.
But
nobody was consistently like really, really good throughout the entire time. Scotty was obviously he was even through the first 2 days and then went 11 under and played bogey-free golf, which is I think he's the first golfer ever to do that on the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Which I mean, he's the best golfer. He's going to be the best golfer of all time. I'm going to say that right now. He's this generation's Tiger. I think he can catch him. What he's done, I mean, he's so consistent. So Scotty Scheffler, obviously. But other than that, nobody really played like elite level golf. My pick was Bryson DeChambeau, and he unfortunately did not make the cut.
I Colin Morikawa.
He
played good golf.
I thought he was gonna sneak in at the end. I think he shot at 1.5 straight birdies at the end of
his was really too little, too late.
Yeah.
Because I mean, he came on strong at the end. I think he finished like was he 700, 600,
900.
Not wow.
He shot.
Wow.
What killed him was the first day. He shot 2 over, and then on day 2 he shot 3 under, then 4 under, then 4 under. So if he fixed that first day, he would have probably won the tournament.
Yep.
Obviously, Rory McIlroy won. Congratulations to him. Will he repeat next year? Be the first one to ever do it? Probably not. Let's just be honest. But you never know. I didn't think he was going to win this year. Exactly. So that's our Masters talk for now.
First time we've ever covered golf on this podcast, by the way. So
we're gonna try and get more into golf. I love golf.
The Masters had me fired up. There,
yeah, it's such a good. One of the guys from Kale Shoe, shout out Jay, and I think you watch this. Said like the Masters is the perfect thing to put on and just do homework. Yeah, you can watch it. You can watch golf. It's a very calming sport. Just you can chill. It's great.
Is there any other majors during summer?
I think the U.S. Open's coming up, if I'm not mistaken.
Quick turnaround.
Well, hold on.
Yeah. If there is one during the summer, we will definitely be covering this again, because, like Brock said, it's a very calming sport. I do enjoy it. I really do.
The Masters is the first major of the year, and then PGA Championships in May, U.S. Open in June, and the Open in July.
Oh, so it's bang, 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 bang.
It's okay.
Yeah. Then we're definitely going to be covering more golf talk on this channel, 100%.
The PGA Championship is May 14th.
Wow.
So we'll be out of school.
About a month away.
That's the week after we get out of school. So we'll be. I'm gonna be locked into that tournament for sure.
Yeah.
But we'll be covering it every day, every time we can.
So this was like, quote unquote, Rory's last Infinity Stone, the Masters, last year.
Yeah, last year. That completed the career of Grand Slam. Yeah. Which is that is the most impressive feat of golf. To win all 4 majors. I don't know how many people have done that off the top of my head, but it's a very short list. And he's completed. There are a couple of guys that are like 1 away. I know Jordan Spieth is 1 away. I think Scotty's 2 away actually, but he has won some of the majors. But yeah, stay tuned for more golf content. I love golf. It's fun to play. It's fun to watch. But yeah, stay tuned for the PGA Championship coming up. And now we'll move on to the Saints. We'll do Ruben Bain real quick.
Yeah.
And then we'll talk about the Saints. What we think they should do in the draft. Ruben Bain
coming up here in 10 days or so.
Yeah. We are gonna put out our. Do you want to do a Saints mock draft? Or do you want to do a whole first round mock draft? Or one of us do one of the other. We'll talk about it. Yeah. Ruben Bain. I have some thoughts. So obviously the report came out that he was involved in a fatal car crash in 2024, and I have some thoughts. I'm a little frustrated. Okay, just being honest. I don't know why this stuff always has to come out
right before.
exactly.
Like
If he was linked to this car crash 2 years ago, why not book him then? Why wait till before his life changes
and
in a
becomes
week?
a
Multi-million,
multi-billionaire.
and then you
He
want to,
probably already is, but even
yeah,
more so.
and now you want to go after the kid. I mean, if he was guilty back then, charge him then. Like, don't wait till he's literally about to change his life and go play for his biggest dream ever, and then you book him. And this happens constantly with athletes. You see this everywhere, especially with some charges that turn out to be false. But it's just this is very similar to the Kyron Lee situation, and we obviously saw what happened with that. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
His 1 year since his death was yesterday or on Sunday. If you're watching it, whenever you're watching this, shout out to him. But same thing happened with him. He was involved with a car crash. Allegedly, it wasn't true. I don't know if the truth has come out yet. And that he took his own life because he thought his life was over right before the draft. And we're seeing the same situation here now. I don't know what Ruby Bane's going through. I don't know if he's going to take his own life. I hope not. I don't pray that on anybody. But it's just frustrating to see all this always come out at the worst time.
Yeah.
And I think
Especially,
it needs to be
they're
fixed.
still kids.
Yeah.
Like they're
Ruben Bain,
2 years old.
yeah, he's probably 21, maybe 22.
Exactly.
And his life could change. I mean, he was going to change anyway, but his life could change for the worse like that. So it's frustrating. I think whoever, like, we need to start putting an end to this. Not like that. Like, obviously, if he did something wrong, charge the guy. Like, if he actually was reckless driving and somebody lost their life because of it, charge him. But don't wait 2 years to do it. Don't wait till he's about to be like
World famous.
about to live out his dream.
Really.
Like do it before.
Take a different approach.
Exactly. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. You have anything to add?
No, I mean, just to sum it up, just take a different approach to it because doing all this a week or so before everything happens, I don't think that's smart, especially with last year what happened with the late Kyron Lacey, you know.
Yeah, it's just frustrating. And speaking of Ruben Bain, we'll get into the Saints draft because I actually thought the Saints might go get Ruben Bain, but that doesn't look like they're going to do that now, depending on what comes out. Like, this is definitely going to hurt Ruben Bain's draft stock. There's no doubt in my mind. Maybe he might even fall out the first round. I mean, we saw this with a guy like Larry Tunzel. That was a different situation. He was obviously caught doing drugs before the draft, and I think he fell out of the first round. If not, he fell in late first round. And this is much worse. Like doing something that causes somebody to lose their leg, probably going to drop quite a bit. But let's talk about the Saints. What they should do in the draft. Let's get back on the happy side.
Yeah.
Connor, where do you think they should go with their first pick? Because I have some thoughts.
So there's two avenues I want this team to go down. Avenue one is offense. That is Carnell Tate or Jordan Tyson. Those two, no one else. The other one is the defensive side of the ball. That is Mansour Delane or Caleb Downs. One of those four people will be there. I guarantee you one of those four people will be there. And if you take one of those four, Connor's happy.
And that's all that matters.
I think Brock would be happy too.
Oh, absolutely. I think the guy who's most likely to be there is Mansour Delane, which makes me think we're not going to draft him because it's just don't draft
him. You know how it goes. We're going to take Peter Woods.
Don't even get me started. If this New Orleans Saints team drafts a defensive lineman in the 2026 NFL draft, scratch everything we've ever said about the Saints for next year. It's a wash.
It's just ignore everything.
They're going to go 9-8, 8-9 if they draft Peter Woods in the first round. But what I think we should do is exactly what you said. Either Carnell Tate, Jordan Tyson, Caleb Downs, or Mansour Delane. I think that's true. But I'll say this: if let's say for somehow Mansour Delane and Carnell Tate both have been taken at the 8, and you have Caleb Downs and
Jordan
Tyson, who would you have? Because I have my pick for that.
You have it?
Yeah.
I would go. I think Caleb Downs is generational.
I agree.
I really do. I think Caleb Downs is generational.
I completely agree because I think that in the second round they should go take Chris Bell out of Louisville.
That's exactly what I was saying.
Go ahead.
Okay, so obviously Chris Bell and Tyler Shuck played together at Louisville. Chris Bell is a big physical receiver. Next to Chris Olave, I think that would make a match made in heaven. Chris Olave obviously is on pace to have a huge season next year, and if you put a big bodied receiver next to him, and you'll also still have a healthy Devon Bailey, but a guy you spent real capital on. If you go get a guy like Chris Bell, I think that'd be very beneficial for the Saints offense. But Jordan Tyson taking him at the 8, 100%, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
He's another pretty big guy too.
Yeah, but I think Caleb Downs and Chris Bell would be my
That'd be
A+ first two
scenario.
picks.
Yep.
That's what I'm hoping
Yeah.
for because obviously a guy like Alontae Taylor is going, so you need somebody to fill his role.
Got
Now,
his bag. Tennessee.
now the Saints came out and said that they think they had the guys in house, and do I think that's kind of uh, throwing other teams off maybe to say yeah we're not going to draft Caleb Downs, so they're going to stay where they are maybe. I don't know what the Saints are doing, but I really hope that's not true because I would love to have a guy like Caleb Downs, who, like you said, I think is generational. Um, one of the best college tacklers I've ever seen. Like he made every single open field tackle that was presented to him. I mean, it was incredible.
And the weird thing is, he came out and said on his podcast, Downs to Business, that if the Saints drafted him, that'd be dope. He said that. You have Carnell Tate comparing Tyler Shuck to Josh Allen. New Orleans is the place to be. I mean, we can't go wrong with this. Don't take Peter Woods.
Shout out Peter Woods.
Shout out Peter Woods. He'll probably be a Hall of Famer. I mean, but
Okay.
by the way,
Well,
to those who are wondering, Jordan Tyson is 6'2" and 203 pounds. So him next to Olave, who's 6 foot 185, would be awesome.
I am a little concerned with the Olave situation that we haven't, or the Saints haven't
He's
worked
not
out a
going
deal
anywhere.
yet.
He's not going anywhere.
Well, I would hope so.
I don't think so.
Shout out Olave. It is just a little concerning that he's not. Yeah, you have jersey up there. That he is not yet signed, but I think that'll get done eventually. But yeah, and
Real
then
quick, just on that, shout out Nick Underhill. He does a great job covering the Saints. He was talking about the Olave situation, and when the season ended, he was saying that he does not expect the Saints and Olave to get something done, maybe even until the summer. It's April. We haven't even had the draft yet.
Yeah.
So I think we can take a deep breath on that. The connection, the chemistry with Tyler Shuck and Chris Olave is there, and it can be there for many years to come. As you know, Tyler Shuck's 27 years old, 26,
something like that.
Chris Olave, I think, is 25, 26, something like that. So they have plenty of years ahead of them to grow. And the Saints know that. Mickey Loomis knows that. Kellen Moore knows that. So I think they're going to do everything they can to keep that connection.
No doubt. And it still remains to be seen what's going to happen with Kamara and Cam Jordan.
Oh, jeez, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Kind of forgot about Cam Jordan until we started talking about the Saints.
I think Kamara's going to stay. Cam Jordan.
Yeah. It's just weird. Like, I thought Kamara was for sure gone whenever ETN got signed.
HN.
So that's going to take some getting used to. But now, like, since it hasn't happened yet, I mean, if you look at it, the Saints running back room next year could be Travis HN, Alvin Kamara, healthy Kendra Miller, who's going to get hurt. Devin Neal, and then Andre Estevez.
As your practice squad.
Yeah. That's a solid running back.
That's a deep running back. You might not have the top end talent, but that is depth. That is depth.
I don't know. Travis HN, I'm just going to start saying, I'm going to say ETN, so I get accustomed to it. I think he could be very good in this offense. Like,
oh, yeah.
Just especially with Tyler Shuck, who I think Tyler Shuck just elevates other players. Now, don't get me started. I can't wait for football season. But the Saints are in a good spot right now. Now, I'm going to do one more pick for the Saints in the draft, and that is in the 3rd round. I think they should go get a guy like Jacob Rodriguez from Texas Tech. They need another linebacker. I don't think Danny Stutzman and Pete Werner are enough, unless they sign a linebacker that I'm just completely forgetting. Which I don't think they are. They need to go get another guy. Obviously, Harold Perkins is the guy. He obviously told the Saints, come get me, which is another guy that wants to come play for the Saints. I think you can go get him in like the 4th round, although his pro day was fantastic, so he might be shooting up the draft boards. I think they need the 3 biggest position needs for the Saints. I think is secondary, wide receiver, and linebacker. So if you can get those 3, you have the ability to go get.
The offensive line is really stacked right now. So,
but yeah, you have the ability to go get those 3 in the first 3 picks of the draft. So I think if you lock up those 3 of the guys that we mentioned, Yeah, I think the Saints are gonna have an A+ draft.
So let me
An
ask you
A
this
draft.
last thing. You mentioned obviously linebacker. Would you like if the Saints went and got a guy like Sonny Styles at the 8?
Oh, absolutely. I just don't think he's gonna be there at 8. I think
Really?
I think he tested so well that he's gonna be. I saw my draft for him too,
Wow.
to the Jets, which is incredible. Um, so yeah,
This is a guy that really was flying under the radar until his pro day.
yeah. Can we talk about? Okay, let's pivot. How in the world did Ohio State not win the national championship? They had Caleb Downs, top 10 pick. Carnell Tate, projected top 10 pick. Sonny Styles, projected top 10 pick. Arvell Reese, projected top 10 pick. And they didn't.
Jeremiah Smith.
Jeremiah Smith, going to be a top 5 pick next year. How in God's green earth did they
I'm
not win the
blanking.
national
Who's
championship?
their running back?
Bo Jackson, but he was a freshman. How in the world did they not win the national championship?
Can't go back to back. Hard to
I
go
mean,
back to back. I don't know.
Shout out Fernando Mendoza.
Yeah, really.
Wow. Which he's a lot bigger than I thought. Did you
Oh,
see?
he's a big dude.
huge.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's our draft talk. I'm just gonna go make a full first round mock draft for my own. Might go ahead and post that.
Oh, you will.
Okay, Connor said I did, so I gotta have to. But yeah. Now let's move on. Are you have anything else in the draft?
Nope, that's it.
We should not have ended with this, but
We always do.
the team on my hat, the LSU baseball Fighting Tigers, got swept by Ole Miss, because of course they did.
It's only right.
That was Ole Miss's World Series. I'm just kidding. Well, I'm not. At the same time.
Ole Miss fans world.
No, I mean
You think it was
very similar. Okay. Similarly, Texas and Texas A&M just played. Texas is an objectively better baseball team than Texas A&M. Texas A&M just swept Texas because Texas A&M's former coach Jim Schlossnagle went to Texas after saying he was not leaving. Obviously, that's going to give Texas A&M a bit of a push to play a lot harder. The similar thing happened just now with that's it, but parallel Ole Miss and LSU. They obviously the whole Lane Kiffin situation. They actually Jake Brown or no Ole Miss scored a run in one of the games. I forget what game. They painted the student section, and there's an Ole Miss player or student. I would assume. I mean, they all dress the same over there. Who mouths F Lane Kiffin. This dude is in their heads. Okay, let me just say that. I know this is LSU baseball. I'm going to talk about LSU football right now. Lane Kiffin is going to live in Ole Miss's heads rent free for the rest of forever. Just like if Lane Kiffin leaves LSU to go to somewhere else, which I fully expect to happen eventually, he's going to live in LSU's heads rent free forever. But right now, he lives in Ole Miss's heads rent free forever,
and we're going to enjoy
forever and always. Doesn't matter what sport it is. Lane Kiffin will get brought up when Ole Miss beats LSU. But guess what? September 19th is coming. Spot the ball. I cannot wait.
God, that's going to be electric.
Now I just got goosebumps talking about that. Now let's pivot back to the baseball series. LSU baseball this year, look, it's been an up and down roller coaster.
More downs than ups.
Yeah. Way too inconsistent. It's just plain and simple. The guys, I mean, coaches can only do so much. I said this on the Sunday show for KLSU. The coaches have a game plan. The players have to go out there and execute that game plan. And maybe you missed on a couple guys in the portal. I'm not going to name any names, but we all obviously know they might have missed. And I did see somebody say something. I want to say Matthew Musso. I could be butchering that, not different name. It might not have been him, but somebody that I watched said, because we've obviously seen this twice now. LSU wins the Natty, the next year they are significantly worse. When you play that far into June and July, you're kind of behind the 8 ball when it comes to the recruiting and transfer portal.
The thing is, they brought in so many highly touted guys, though.
Did they though? I mean, there was a lot.
That's what everybody was saying.
There's a lot of mid-major guys. The only two,
Caraway.
Yeah, Caraway's been a bit of a disappointment this season, but I think that's more the emergence of John Pearson rather than Caraway. Braden Simpson, obviously a mid-major guy from High Point. I said I wasn't gonna name names, but here we go. He has not been able to take that step up in SEC pitching. Now, if you're watching Game 3 yesterday, he actually did come through in the inning that LSU scored 7 runs to tie it. It was 0-2 pitch and 96-mile-an-hour fastball up in the zone, and he gets a base hit to score 2 runs. So that was cool to see. Seth Dardar has not transitioned as well as we thought. Unfortunately, I think the Tennessee weekend was probably a fluke. I don't think that's who Seth Dardar is. He strikes out way too much. And he the way he swings is like an uppercut swing. So he doesn't really hit much on the ground. It's pop-ups, fly balls, or strikeouts, or 430-foot missiles. Yeah. Who else?
Zach York.
Zach York has just been a complete failure. Now might be a little less harsh. No, there's really actually nothing else I can say. He has not panned out as well as we thought. Mason Braun, I think, is firmly taking his spot at first base. Who shout out to him.
He's been coming on.
Oh my goodness, he had an unbelievable weekend at Ole Miss. Or at least the first 2 games. I think yesterday he was over 4, but that's okay. Because the first 2 games he was like 5 or 6 at that point. Same with Omar Cerna. He swung the bat well this weekend. But we didn't do a preview on this weekend. Ole Miss. Now, I'm not making excuses for LSU, but Ole Miss is the best pitching team in the SEC. So it was hard for LSU to get down by that much and then come back like we've seen them do. They needed to jump on them early, and they did in game 1. I mean, Jake Brown. The series couldn't have started better. I don't know if you were watching game 1. Chris Stanfield walks on 5 pitches, and Jake Brown hits a lefty slider to the moon. And LSU goes up 2-0, and after that, it was just a struggle offensively. So they need to be more consistent. But I think, this team is what it is. I think they're 38 games in now, and they're just not very good. Plain and simple.
Inconsistent.
Yeah.
If you were to summarize this team in one word, it'd be inconsistent.
Absolutely.
And it's just the pitching is so confusing to me.
Mm-hmm.
You had Casey Evans, who looks like he's going to be this All-American, first-team All-American coming into this year. He hasn't been able to put it together. He'll strike out 15, and then he'll give up 6 on 6 walks. William Schmidt has been the best pitcher on this team so far. He's been the most consistent guy. But then after that, it really, really gets shaky.
Yeah.
And the bullpen is very shaky. I don't know how Devin Sheeran did this weekend.
He did pretty good.
He's been the one guy I feel like that's been pretty good this year. Other than that, I don't know. I don't know.
Zach Cowan has been very good. He's
Yeah.
kind of been the guy that slows everything down. Similar to last year, the stopper. And a guy like Gavin Guidry, okay, I know he's gotten some flack. He threw 3 innings yesterday. I mean, he limited Ole Miss until the end. I think what happens with that is because LSU's bullpen is so limited, they have to leave in guys like Gavin Guidry and Santiago Garcia, Zach Cowan. They have to leave them in longer than they would like. So you're seeing him run out of gas, and he obviously gave up an absolute bomb to Tristan Bassetta from Ole Miss, who I don't think that ball's landed yet. And then it's frustrating because coming into the season there was so much hype around this team, especially in the pitching side, and these guys just haven't performed. Now LSU is known to put it all together late in the season, but it's starting to look a little too late. And LSU has an absolute gauntlet coming up. They had Texas A&M at home, which is kind of crazy because last year, at this point in the season, or no, I'm sorry, 2 years ago, 2024, this point in the season, LSU was 3-12 at SEC play and looking for answers, and they had number 1 Texas A&M coming into the bottom.
At this point last year we were 3-12.
No, 2 years ago, 2024. My bad. I forget if LSU was struggling in SEC, but I don't know if it was exactly this time. But they had number one Texas A&M coming into the box, and they took that series from Texas A&M, and that was kind of the turning point. But now LSU's 6-9 in the conference, but it feels a lot worse for some reason. But they all obviously
expectations.
They have number 10 Texas A&M coming into the box. So do we see that they need to win this series? There's not really must wins until there is, but oh my goodness, is this not a must win series? Because after that, you travel to Mississippi State, who some coincidentally has got swept the last 2 weekends at home.
Really?
To Georgia, who's the best team in the conference, and then Tennessee just swept them at home, like in Mississippi State. So that's gonna be tough. And then you got South Carolina, who's atrocious, but they have been playing better baseball. And then Georgia on the road, who, if you know anything about Georgia, they hit 1 million home runs.
They love their ballpark.
And their ballpark. You think Tennessee's ballpark was small? Just wait. And then Florida, who that's always gonna be a good series at home to wrap up the season. But look, the threshold that everybody says is 13 wins in the SEC, and you're going to be firmly in the tournament. Right now, LSU's sitting at 6, so just go find 7 wins across 5 weekends. Just if you can win 2 at home against A&M, and then
sweep Missouri or sweep South Carolina.
I never want to predict a sweep as a division SEC.
This is true.
You win 2 at home, just go get 7 wins.
Go get 7 wins.
Yeah, 15 games, find a way to win 7 of them. So We'll keep an eye on it. We'll obviously keep talking about it. But anything else you want to talk about before we get out of here? It's been a
No,
long pod.
that's it. That's all I got. Thank you for listening. Episode 104 will be coming out. When? I don't know, but it will be coming out. Yeah, end of the semester's almost here.
Yeah.
What a year it's been, man. What a year it's been.
Yeah, the 1 year anniversary of Big Blitz is coming up.
It's coming up here in
We
about
will be doing stuff.
a month.
So I have
Probably
some,
be more.
I have some ideas for that. So
Okay.
just
This is
stay
news to me.
tuned.
All right. Thank you for watching. We will catch you guys in the next one.
Peace.
Peace.